and welcome back to Reaper Pro-Tips with me, your host, Anne, a disembodied hands, Quindy, a jumping the gun Kiki, and Justin and John. Yeah. Hi, jumping the gun Kiki. Hi. Hi, jumping the gun girl. Yeah, what you doing? Your face isn't on camera, though. Your face isn't on camera. She's like, that's not the point, Mama. There's a Kiki. Yeah, you were looking out the window at the birds. There's birds out there. There are. Yeah, big fangs. Yes, nice teethers. And the ears are kind of going forward. Yeah, you like to look out the window. Yeah, but that means people can't see your pretty face. Yeah. Oh, where's my girl? There's my girl. Oh, I've got a paw. I do have a paw. A monstrous giant paw. Good girl. Good girl, Kiki. She says, hi, everybody. Oh, belch. That was from breakfast, huh? Or was that the bully stick? Yeah. Good girl. Okay. Off and evicted. When the teethers come out, that's when you're evicted. Good girl. Good girl, Kiki. Good girl. Good girl. Whoop. Okay, get your bully. Don't forget your bully stick, okay? Oh, blech. How is it, guys? How's it looking? Hey, guys, I've decided. I've committed. My book will come out Monday. I've officially committed. I'm going to fill out my ISBN form later and put that down as its release date. I'll remind you. Don't worry when we get there. I like the wagging tails book, and Kitty says great. I have committed. Yes. I finished enough yesterday that I'm like, okay, I can do this on Monday. The only reason I wouldn't do it tomorrow is just that apparently a ton of people all choose to release their books on Friday. And I'm just like, I don't want to be part of like 3,000 people releasing their book instead of 1,000 people releasing their book. So I'll do it Monday. Actually, David really liked that day because it's my dad's birthday. And two, it's the first day of spring. And he thought the first day of spring for a book called East of the Sun would be good. So yeah, so that's the plan. And I'll remind y'all, I'll tell y'all when it's done. I'll probably actually publish it really, really late on Sunday night because it takes time to populate, and everything. It could take up to 24 hours, but hopefully Amazon isn't that pokey. Hopefully. And it'll be Amazon first. I don't know how long it's going to take to populate to Ingram's, and from Ingram's it'll go to Barnes & Noble, but I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know if it's a couple days or if it's a week or more. I have no idea. This is the first time you do anything, right? The first time you do anything, you have no idea. No idea how long it's going to take. So yeah. And then Quindy, you can add a link to my spam. We can make it even bigger spam. Cream puffs, nom. Oh, shoo, yay. It was a success, huh? Well, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be tasty. It's not like you're looking at Paul Hollywood and saying, here's your shoe. More spam. Spam. We can just do the spam song. Spammity spam. There's your little bit of Monty Python for the morning. Everybody needs that, right? But yes. Awesome. Super awesome. So I have a lot of work ahead of me this weekend, but that's fine. I'm used to that. But I did, however, I'm a good Anne, guys. This is progress. This is progress for me. My to-dos, my what I plan to do for the next 10 days in my little journal that does that for me. I'm like, publish book, take a couple days off, and then pivot to second book. So the couple days off, I would never have put that into my schedule before. Yes. So David and I have been watching the Bake Off the Professionals, which you're right, it's not as much fun, because the bakers don't necessarily have a growth, like they don't grow as much as the amateur bakers do over the course of the show. But I gotta say, Judge Benoit, who I wasn't sure of at first, he's grown on me. I kind of like him. He is an acceptable, extremely French version of Paul Hollywood. Plus the French accent. But yeah. So. Okay, what the heck are we doing today? We did gold last time, yay! And the gold looked pretty good, yay! And it was really muted, yay! I need to do the book today. I wonder what we should do in the book. I don't want to do a skull. Could just do writing. I thought about trying to do like a little bird, like a stylized crow, but I don't know that I have the room. I don't know if I'd be able to carry it off. I mean, I might be able to do a bird. Could try to do a bird if we want to. She does have a birdie. Let's see. Let's get this in focus. Hey, Kerniko. Yeah, sticky mud, not the best for lettuce planting. I agree. Bake Off fix. Yeah. We watch a lot of things on Netflix. Alrighty. Yeah. What do you guys think? Little bird on the page, or do you just want basic writing and we can do like a letter? Gold won't carry, Slalom. And the reason gold won't work here is that it's too tiny. So unless I do a huge letter on the page, like an A, I could pull off gold then. The thing is that even with NMM gold, you need to have a fairly large surface for the color to show up. So gold is kind of muted and the page is kind of muted and it would just kind of blend in. When you've got something that tiny, you have to make it a really bright color or it just won't show up. So it needs to either be high contrast, like dark lettering on the page, or it needs to be a really bright color. So I could do something really bright yellow. Would that look gold? No, and it isn't a color that's really on the page. So that's why it's like, do I have an example of this? But, not really, because I never make this. I don't do this typically. But essentially, Slalom, the smaller the thing is that you're trying to paint, the brighter you have to make it. It's like eyes, like when you're doing eyes on a beastie, but they're very small, and you try to make them like yellow, or you try to make them like green, but they don't really show up. You have to go really, really bright to make them show up. Yeah. So that's a rule of mini painting, and it's especially true in 28, where everything is so very small. We need to do our eyes also. I mean, we could try a bird and then just do scribbles on the opposite page. I feel like I could probably pull off a bird, maybe with folded wings. Heh. Yeah, Netflix is pretty good about giving you value. There's just so much to watch, right? And there's so much old stuff too that they bring on that you can watch. All right, let's, I feel like a big letter also isn't a great thing. Because you'd normally put it like at the side of the page. This book is really narrow. I want to say that. Often when I'm painting books, we have a little bit more like width this way, but these are actually very narrow pages. Well, yeah, but she's got a birdie. I'm not painting a skull because I don't enjoy painting skulls. But yeah, I mean, I could do a really narrow letter. I could start with an I or something, or a T. I guess we could start with a T. But doing a really wide letter would be unhappy. Let's just mix up I'm not going to use brown liner for this. I think I want either walnut or rogue shadow. You want something that you can thin down to the point where you can get really thin marks. Yeah, I've done a pentagram before. I guess we could do a pentagram. That's easy. That's an easy thing. Everybody's like, no, Anne, it's not easy. Yeah, feather would be easy. However, now everybody has pointed out that they think birds are not necromancy enough. Obviously, they haven't dealt with any crows or ravens in mythology. There we go. So let's get our walnut mixed up, and we're going to do... Uh-oh. Ah, there. We're going to do 2 to 1. Necromancy. Yeah, exactly. Cranston's got it. Yeah, when you break out the decals, yep. We can do a tiny pentagram. It's okay. We'll do a tiny pentagram. I don't think I've done one for a while. We did cat face on our last book, so y'all remember. That's comparatively, yeah, see, look at the difference in size here. Look at the difference. Like, this is a teensy book. like a teensy book. Can you see? It's like half the size of the other book. So I had a lot more room to do letters that you could actually read and do a cat face on this other one. And like no room at all in this book. This is so teensy. You guys see the difference? Yeah. Oh, nice, Cornico. They're like, here, you look like a creepy person. Have this bird skull. They give you a totem. Kiki, are you going to settle down and chew your thingy? Your, what did I give her? Chew. She's pacing around. I don't know why she's pacing around. Maybe I'll see if she can come in here and, chew nicely. Papa, can you come in here and chew your bully? Let me see if I can do this with the Keekers. Let's see. Well, first of all, I'll see if she's settled. Are you here? Oh, you're here. Here, bring your bully in. Bring your bully. And settle right here, okay? Settle right here. Good girl. We'll see how long this lasts before I evict her again. You're just the person that gives him peanuts. Well, peanuts are pretty good. I'm probably better than most crow food. Or raven food. You're not going to eat that? Oh no, she decided to take it back out. Kiki does not want to be with us today. Hello, Kodiak. How's it going? Alrighty. Okay, so if we're going to do a pentagram, always practice to make sure you can do your thing before you do the thing. Because once you mess up the page, then you're going to be like... So we got to have a connect the dots, right? Like, usually I'll start with the circle. And it'll also let me test to see if my paint is thick enough. And right now it's not. So I'm not getting a really solid. So I can do the circle that size, so that's good. But I need another drop of walnut, or I need to add a little bit of rogue shadow or brown line. Probably rogue shadow because that's slightly better coverage. Oh, interesting, Kerniko. I didn't know that. So yesterday on our walk, the cutest thing happened. Kiki came nose to nose with a hummingbird for the first time. And it was really nose to nose. Like the hummingbird was on the hedge, like, you know, slurping out of a flower. And Kiki like just walked right up to it and went, "What's this buzzy thing?" And it flew up, but it stopped like maybe like 2 feet above her head. And it just like kind of like gave her a good looking over for like two seconds. Like just totally like, "What are you?" And Kiki's like, "What are you?" And she's like trying to bounce her front paws off the pavement, kind of trying to like, not jumping at it, but like trying to levitate up so she can like sniff it. It was hilarious. I'm like, what I would have given to like have my video my camera out at that moment to be able to hit video, right? But it was so fast I couldn't catch it. It was pretty adorbs though. Pretty damn adorbs. I love hummingbirds. Hi, yeah, wasn't it cool? You got to meet the buzzy thing, the tiny buzzy thing yesterday. Yeah. She likes bees. And hummingbirds just make the same kind of buzzy noise, so they're just bigger. No, I'm not going to play ball with you. If you're going to try to play ball with me, I'm going to put you out. Mama's got to work. This is Kiki not understanding that Mama has to work. Hey, it's work time, Paw. All right, I'm going to evict you. Yeah, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. There you go. Get your ball. Nope. Eviction. Eventually, Kiki will learn to be good and settle in here. That's funny, Agent Marvel. All right. So I put in another drop in of Rogue Shadow, adding to my walnut. The reason I went for Rogue Shadow is that I didn't want to thin this very much more, because it went transparent on me, right? So I need it to actually give me a pretty good... Okay, so that's much better. Look at how much strength I got out of that. And I didn't add more water. I just added a drop of of Rogue Shadow. Yeah, now I can do a tiny circle for our pentagram. And let's see, I've got to do an upside down pentagram. I'll probably honestly just do it right side up. I'll just paint it from this angle. I'll paint it right side up from this angle. Yeah, Kiki loves bees. One of these days she's going to get stung because she wants to snoodle them. I'm going to actually do it from just the right side and try to make sure I can do it. So can I do a nice little pentagram? And the answer is yes, I can. So since I can do it, now I can go and do it on the book. So we're going to do that right here. And the key here is really to get all the paint off your brush as much as you can. Another key, since I'm doing a circle, this is a very awkward angle to work from. That's another thing that makes books hard. So one thing I'll do is I'll connect the dots. I'm going to do the top of my circle here, the circle there, and I'm essentially making little dots. I think I need more moisture in my brush, so I'm going to reload. So I'm going to just squeeze the water out of my brush to keep it. When you're doing freehand, this is when it's really important to keep a little bit of water in your brush. I squeeze out most, but I leave some. If I squeeze it out instead of putting it on a paper towel, that enables me when I stop talking as I'm doing this is because I'm exhaling. Always paint freehand on the exhale, or at the end of your exhale when you hold your breath for a second. Whatever works for you, but never ever paint on the inhale, and don't try to breathe normally while you're doing freehand. It just leads to shakes, even for me. So you often will hear me take a deep breath before I do freehand, before I execute, because of that reason. Because then I'll just let it out and I'll paint as I'm exhaling. Got a little bit blurfy on the outside edge. This is a hard one because we did all the shading and highlighting on this stuff beforehand. So I'm going to grab my nod bone and mix a little bit of my Rogue Shadow into it. And that should give me a color that will help me touch up this area. I knew it was inevitable that we would have to touch up something. Luckily, since I know what my limited palette is on this figure, it's pretty easy to mix something that works for that grayed out area. And then I will add a little bit more nod bone and mix a highlight so I can touch up all over my book no matter where I've screwed up. Let's get our white. Just mixing up some of this bone color, which is also my parchment color. I have my models that I ordered here also, so maybe once we've done the book, we'll take a break and talk about what our future models plan should be, because we're about done with this one, and we're done with yellow cleric lady, unless we decide to do we need to do her face still, and we need to do some freehand on her back, but we're almost done with her. And we're going to be done with Burgermeister pretty quick, I think. And Fishy. Fishy is like, we do his base and we're done. So we have a lot of models to choose from, including a couple of oddballs that I got. Just odd ones just to see if you guys would be interested. So once I've got that color, I can touch up that edge where I kind of blorfed. And then I've got this lighter parchment color that lets me touch up this edge. Until I've got a pretty good circle. Yes, we'll probably slot in Kathy in place of Yellow Cleric. So we're going to do that one for sure. And then I've got a couple of others. Yeah, we'll get to it in a second. I did get the Jolie female scribe as well. She's always been one I wanted to paint. You don't even know what the oddballs are yet, but I'm certain that you're right because I bought them on impulse. All right, so I'm gonna do this upside down, which then will make it look like an upside down. It was right side up to me, but all right, we'll try it. It's hard to, with her hair, with the crow and the shadow it casts, it's hard to make this stay in focus and still give me a good, I think I'm gonna actually use my overhead light here. Yeah, I am. So I actually clicked on my lamp on my camera so that I could do this because otherwise the light sourcing is all casting that shadow and it's really hard for you guys to follow what I'm doing. Honestly, if the elemental scions were cast in something other than Bones Black, I might paint the others, but... So we'll start at the top, and we're going to go down here. Then we're going to go over to here. Then we're going to go up to here. Then we're going to go down to here. Then I have one more line. Now this is a case where if you needed to, you could add a little extra Floam Proofer. I did use my Floam Proofer water mix when I thinned this brown. And make sure I've got that arm out. It's very hard to do it. And it gives us, we've got very little room between some of these arms. So pentagram probably a little bit small for this book, or too complex for this book, but we did it anyway. Just because you lose some of the details, but and I need to touch it up just a little bit. On the upper edge. That'll work. We'll do our scribbles, which are very easy. Actually, I'm going to block in the outside a little bit more. Maybe I'll do a double. Maybe I'll do a pentagram enclosed in another circle. Because I feel like I want it to have more impact. That helps. I'm going to widen that a little bit. Yeah, I like the Jolie. I've always liked the design. It's always been one of Talon's best characters, I think, as far as of his drawings. There. That's good. All right, much better. I like that a little better. So, all right, and these are pretty, again, these are regular bones, so. But the ones I ordered, the oddball ones that I ordered, and I know I'll be able to find one that I like. The oddball ones I ordered are the fun size mouselings. So they're the oversized mouselings. And I think I don't like the rogue sword very much. Let's see, I don't like the wizard at all, so he's out. I'll have to look at them and decide which one I like. I like the archer a bit. I don't know. The witch hunter's cute. Yeah, maybe I want to do the witch hunter. The one with the hat. Maybe I want to do that one. But they're the fun size mouselings, so they're the big ones, Cornico. Much more exciting than the small mouselings, in my opinion. But they are bones, so they are kind of clunky. But I like the witch hunter, so maybe we'll do him. All right, now we need our scribbles. Again, you want some water in your brush. So I'm talking about keeping water in your brush. I'm talking about loading it up with water and then just pretty much squeezing it out. That will, you can still see the glisten, that there's water in the brush. But most of it is out, and then I can load my brush. Oh, I got too much. Too much paint. I think there are 5 or 6 in the pack. They were up on the store from the Kickstarter, and they still had them, and I was like, you know what? 1 or 2 of those could be good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 total. 5 total, but some I have absolutely no interest in. Like the little warrior's cute, but we already painted him in a different pose with the torch, I think. It's very close anyway. I think the witch hunter is my favorite. The one with the pistol and the hat. I think I've painted a smaller version of him as well, but it was a speed paint, so. But yeah, it looks like there are 5 in that pack, green users. Now it's really hard to get at. So this is where you hit the hard part of the book, guys. Because there's so little room, and the only angle you can use is really an upside down angle. And so I'm going to load up, get my brush tip as sharp as I can, and then I'm going to I'll probably tackle it from this angle, but this angle of view, but that angle above. And really you just want to do a little bit of, you try to keep them in straight lines, but just little dots and dashes. To get your letters in there. Anything at this scale is, and if your hand shakes a little, that actually is to your advantage, as long as you can keep it in more or less a horizontal line. But shaking hands actually works because it gives you that little variation to the line you need to make it look real. Now I have to go kind of figure out where that is. That one's a little bit too high. And when you've screwed it up a little bit, then you need to go and fix it with your touch-up paint. I chose not to do the darkening at the edges of the pages, the foxing, this time on this one, because we've done that on other books. I wanted this book to be a little more like she just freshly flayed the demon skin to make the book. Maybe that's it. Maybe this used to be a demon, but now it's mostly a book, except she still has the skull. Maybe that's it. We don't have a big space mouseling. We only have little space mouselings, and I'm not a big fan of the space mouselings. I think I've still got the mouseling Space Marine somewhere. All right, so there we go. Book. Woo! Easy. Well, not really. Kind of difficult, actually. All right, so I've got to look at this. I decided I do remember that I wanted to highlight the black indigo on these belts. And I also need to highlight the birdie a little bit more, I think. Looking good. I think I'm just going to leave this. I could do a border on the back of the dress here. And I need to highlight the hair a little bit. Okay, so black indigo plus... Rogue Shadow with a touch of 9003. Okay. Where is my black indigo? There it is. Yay. And then... Yeah, the scribe actually is pretty... I mean, she's pretty simple when you really break her down. So we did the book. All right, so this is what we got. Let's go and talk about minis for a second before I start that leather and stuff. You can do whatever you want, Big Chimpo. If you want to go science fantasy, you can go science fantasy. So we're doing Kathy. Kathy is pretty elaborate. She's got a lot of armor. However, she, unlike the model we started yesterday or the day before, her armor is more intricate. So let's get the Kathy out. So because she wants magenta hair, I think I'm gonna put Kathy. Kathy's really cool. She's a cool mini. Although good luck getting the eyes painted. But yeah, so Kathy is gonna have magenta hair for sure. Other than that, we have not yet decided. She has a paint bottle shoulder pad with brushes. That's pretty awesome. And a sunshine. And a Fu Lion, which I approve of. Cool. So yeah, she's cool, and she's going to be replacing Yellow Priestess. So we know that already, so I'm going to pop her up there. Yellow Priestess and Kathy. And then... Where's my Returner Mouseling? Archer Mouseling is also pretty cool, but the bow is a little clunky, and I'd have to fix that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Returner... Okay, I'm going to get these Mouselings. I'm going to get all the Mouselings that are potentially okay out. I'm not going to do the Wizard, though. Not in the mood for a Mouseling Wizard. He's done. He's a no. Okay. So the fun size Mouselings, we're gonna do one of these. You get my scissors out, cut open my baggies. Yeah, I could do that. I could green in the eyes. That's pretty easy. Could show you guys how to do that. So this is Little Witch. I still think he's like the clear choice. I think this guy is really, really the clear choice. Not only does he have a fantastic face, but his sword's not too bad. And his little pistol is cute. And he has a hat. He has a hat. Like, I just feel like this guy is like the obvious choice. Like, he's so cool. Boy, he needs a little bit of green work. He's got a big dent there. I'm going to have to do some stuff. But yeah, so, okay. So let's say he's a probable. Because I love his face. I love his face. But we also have little warrior guy with his little acorn shield. And he's a potential. He's okay. I don't like the rogue's little dagger. It's really wonky in this mold, in this cast. So I feel like, and I'm not a big fan of the way the scarf around his neck went. So he's out. Wizard's out. That leaves us with Archer and Warrior. Yeah, I think the Witch Hunter is the clear favorite in this. I feel like he's the best sculpt and has the most character. The only annoying part is that since his hat is so big, it covers his face a bit. So then you've got little warrior. He's just got a little determined face. He's not as characterful, but he's a good sculpt. All of his parts are actually very clean for the most part, and his sword is good, and his shield is cute. So I would say the warrior is another option. Like, he's possible, but I still feel like the witch hunter's better, if you know what I mean. Just a better execution. And the archer is pretty. Yeah, the archer is so straightforward that I just feel like he's probably a no. He's just so. He's vanilla. He's vanilla archer, vanilla ranger. His biggest advantage is that he has cute little feet instead of having armored feet. With this model, I probably would not attach the hat before painting Big Chimpo. I would paint it normally because I want to be able to execute on the face very well. And then I would come up and I would just glaze where the shadow is to glaze over the top that I did. But I mean, he's still pretty adorbs. The other thing I could do is to shave the hat brim back. So this is an option if you find that it's just a little bit too obtrusive. We could absolutely, because it's bones material, this is so easy. We could absolutely trim down the hat on the front. And we could do it that way. Because otherwise, like, I like the hat. The hat is very characterful. But we could trim it back just a little. Because you can still see his face from the side really well. But I feel like I want to paint it before I attach it. Now, there is some gapping, but since this is bones, it's really easy to just press down hard on it. So when we glue it, we'd have to just press it down. I love how his ears come up through his hat. Although that could be executed on the sculpt a little bit better, we probably would want to actually do some green work on that. Let's see here. But otherwise, I feel like this guy is great. Like the Van Helsing Mouseling. He's fantastic. I would probably go dark blues with him. Dark blues with like brown or reddish brown fur. We'll see. Yeah. But anyway, he's cool. He's cool, and the little warrior is cool. So we may do, like, if I do the witch hunter this time, we may still decide to paint the little warrior because he's adorbs. Just for fun. If we want to go big, chunky big. Because obviously this is like a different way of painting than this, right? This little intricate necromancer. Yeah, he's a mousy Hugh Jackman, exactly. Quindy, you're funny. Yeah, I think I would shave just a little bit off of it. But just a little. And I would definitely do some green work here. After I cleaned up, I would want to create little tears in the hat fabric for those ears to come through instead of just having them come through the fabric like this. I could paint plastic surgery it, but I may want to green stuff it. I think I could make it look good. So, Mousy might get done that way. I think that might be good. But I just got an idea. I'd have to do something else on the shield. What if you made them fighting and this guy actually was like a death knight? Like warrior mouse was a death knight. I don't know if I can pull that off. His sword will be fine, but the acorn on the shield is a little bit too happy. But anyway, all right. So yeah, probably Witch Hunter Mousy then. Just for fun, and we'll see about any other mouselings. But really, that's the one. Like, I just ordered it for a couple of mouselings that I thought I really liked. Plus, it's a different scale. It'll be difficult to paint. I think I would do a lot of green work on it before painting it. Like, for example, or some filler work. Like the fur is a very rough texture, and it's quite deeply depicted, so it can be very difficult to paint that well. So, Yeah, maybe we'll do a Death Knight Mousy. I'd have to do a different symbol on the shield. I'd have to figure out how I wanted to change it. But at any rate, let me get those off of the floor and away from where the Kiki can eat them, because she will. So I was thinking we'd replace Fishy with Mouseling. So Mouseling, Fishy. Because I want to have at least one larger model. Okay, and then so we got Jolie, who could replace this lady. And I think that's almost it. Then we just need a replacement for the Burgermeister. Although let me get you guys like, okay, so Jolie, she's turned her back on you. She doesn't want to flip around to there we go. So Jolie the Scribe, who's really cool. I also actually got this Necromancer dude because I thought it might be fun to do a little extra on the spell effect, to actually try to do some extra sculpting on making the spell effect a little cooler. I like that he's casting. He's otherwise very simple, so he would mean a lot of freehand probably. But definitely an evil Necromancer dude. So he's in there as a possibility. I do have the overladen henchwoman that Rhonda painted, although Rhonda painted her so well that I kind of feel like I don't need to. But she is a 3D print sculpt, so she would be, you know, the first 3D print sculpt that we would do. And we've got two elves, although I would definitely have a preference as to which one I like better. I've got the Elf Ranger here. We'd probably, I might do some funky freehand on him because he's all cloak. And then I've got this guy who's a much cooler elf warrior. So I kind of like him. And I think I might... 10-foot pole guy. This one is your PC Mini. Oh, this elf, yeah. Or any, like, there are a couple versions of this elf, right? So I got him because he's good. He's a good one to use because it's not the same one as the other elf that I use for everything. Snooty Elf of Spearness. Like, they're from the same unit, obviously. They have the same... Essentially, it's an elf spearman and an elf archer. And they're obviously from the same, like, nation/army because they have very similar armor going on. But they are pretty simple. You would definitely dress them up with a lot of freehand if you did them. So that one is maybe a no then. So if you guys don't, yeah, so what I'm hearing is I'm going to do Jolie no matter what because I want to do that model. But then for the Burgermeister replacement, you have Evil Necromancer or you have Heroic Elf Dude. Though you could also paint, he's got kind of a frown on his face. You could paint him as a villain pretty easily. So let's do a poll, Quindy. Jolie is going to replace this model, the Necromancer, once we have her done, which will be today probably. So we have Necromancer or Elf Dude. Necromancer, Elf Dude. And Necromancer, before you even ask, is probably going to be done in purple and really bright green. No, I don't think I want to do a Dark Elf Dogfather. I'm not sure, but... Yeah, I'm doing Jolie. Jolie is going to replace the Necromancer. So this is who's going to replace the Burgermeister when we get him done. Because I like to know in it. So let's do a poll. Necromancer or Elf Hero. And we can have people... There we go. Which model should I put into the rotation? And this, again, will be to replace... These guys are going to... One of these will replace this guy, who we are actually making really good progress on. So I would expect him to be moving right along. Yeah, I haven't done purple and green for a while, so we'll do a bright, like really bright green spell effect. And we'll see what else we can do. I might mute it out, actually. I might mute everything out and do more confrontation-like style. But yeah, so these two guys, let's back up a little bit. So these two guys are your choices. Vote, 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 everybody. Vote, vote, vote. Man, heroes are getting really short shift these days. Everybody wants me to paint villains. Is that what I'm hearing? Team Necromancer. Yeah, the arms disconnect on the elf. You just glue it on. Makes for a more dynamic pose, you know. I don't like to take them out of the blister until I'm actually I know I'm going to do them. Because it's like the unwrapping. With me, weirdly, because this is a weird miniatures thing, and you may also have this miniatures thing, but what I discovered is, as long as I do not unwrap the model, as long as I don't open the box, it still feels like new to me. So if I get a new model, but I know I can't start it right away, but I hide it, I put its box away, and I don't open it up and play with it at all, then when I go and look for something to paint, I see it, and it's like, it's brand new, like it just arrived in the mail. It's a weird thing with my brain, but I totally take advantage of that now to keep my enthusiasm high on models. Kerniko has Team Elf. We'll probably still paint the elf at some point. It's just going to be a while because we're starting so many new figures. We're in that phase where we're starting a lot of new figures all at once, like we tend to do. All right. The poll is running out and Necromancer is firmly in the lead. Disturbingly, like how, you know, we all, life, Kerniko, you've surely come to this conclusion, but life is all about learning how to game our brains. Like, that's entirely it. If we can game our brains effectively, then life's good. No, Slalom. This is for, I wanted to just take a break because I had a little bit. I don't have much left to do on this model. I just wanted people, I promised them that they could vote on this, but they're not going to start today. They're going to replace, whoever we vote on is going to replace this guy when we finish him. So I just like to know in advance because I need to prep them. So I have people vote before we're actually ready to start them. I've got analytical brain, Asian Marvel. I just figure out how to... But it's so true. But it's true with these too. Like if I don't take them out of their blister and I just put them away, then when I go back to them, they feel new. Necromancer wins! All right, Elf Hero, you're off for later. Overladen Henchwoman, you are also for later. I'm going to put those guys out of the way. We're going to keep Jolie here because she's going to replace somebody. And I'll put these guys back in the box. Back in the box. Be gone. And these guys get to stay. Exactly, Twisted Oma, exactly. He is, but he's more, like, he's indigo. Like, I'm gonna be bringing his stuff up a little bit more blue. A little bit more blue, less purple. He is a green, purple, orange. Like, you will notice, this is why I say, 1 second. This is Big Chimpa why I was saying to Kodiak yesterday that really the only rule, like, no matter who you are as a painter, most often you'll be able to look at your models and they're going to be based on either the primary triad or the secondary triad. So with every single model that I'm painting right now, it is, except for Fishy. Fishy's a complementary, but I don't often do complementary schemes. Technically, Sophie is also, so I guess we've gone away from that. But these two are actually complementary schemes. They're orange-blue, right? Even though the orange is muted or different, and the blue has some differences also, they're still orange and blue color schemes. So we're actually doing a lot of orange-blue right now, which is interesting. However, like if you look at any of the other models that I paint, it's typically like this is going to be a red-yellow, right? It just lacks the blue because we didn't have it in, but it's still a primary triad color scheme. And then this is definitely a red-yellow-blue, even though the red is violet-y. So red-yellow-blue. Right, and then, hold on. Every once in a while I'll change it, but it's rare for me to change it. This is definitely a yellow-blue color scheme. It is actually technically a red-yellow-blue because I went with a reddish-brown on the leather. And then this guy is, of course, an orange-green-purple, although, again, he's actually a little bit different because he's a slid triad. So I don't know if you guys weren't here when I painted Noel. But this is an interesting thing, right? So, as we know, like red, yellow, blue, right? So, red, yellow, blue is a triad. And then we've got orange, green, are orange, green, and purple. But there's these colors in between, right? There's the red orange, the yellow green, the blue green, all that. So that's what I did with Noli, is I switched to, instead of red, yellow, blue, I switched to red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, violet. So he's still a triad, but he's a shifted triad on here. And you can come to that by using the big triangle on the back of your color wheel. So if you shift it from red, yellow, blue, if you've got one point up on the red, orange, then you follow the other point over and you get yellow, green, and you follow the other point over and you get blue, violet. So it's still a triad, but it's a tertiary triad. That said, you can kind of see where it might be the orange and stuff, but yeah, so Noli is a weird one. Yeah, I don't do a lot of really muted. I mean, obviously Noel is muted, and the Ghost Hunter, this lady's a very muted color scheme. Very, very, very muted. But I don't often do these because muted colors actually are harder to work with, I find. I like also the stuff on screen just tends to be better saturated, but... And every once in a while I'll do a crowd pleaser like the teal and purple for Kitty. Teal and purple Kitty. Which is just a good combo. It's not necessarily... But yeah, this one is actually muted also. Because we went with meadow green, right? So I was forced to mute everything else. I like this guy though. Like his one pop of saturated color that you can get away with is the hair. And everything else is more muted. It's coming along really well though. Yep, just Dodoma. Yep. I always put, I have boxes, I just stuff my stuff in. Yep. Alrighty. Oh, I have so many pretty models waiting for me too. I gotta get this, I gotta get my book done. And also David and I are finishing up our battle pass on Overwatch. Once the battle pass is over, I've decided I'm going to take like a month to just paint in the evenings instead of gaming with David. Which is going to be funny because he's going to go to Adepticon. He's going to be like, I'm done with painting. Or right, like for the weeks before Adepticon, the week before Adepticon, he's going to be like, I'm done painting. And I'm going to be like, I want to paint. But yeah, so there. So that's good. Yeah. I do wish the Reaper had the capability of doing like the bigger models in Siocast, but they don't. They didn't when I checked with Ed a while ago. And I don't know. I assume Siocast will eventually make it possible to do larger models, but... Alright, well, cool. We got our thing picked. That's great. Where was I? Oh, yeah, I was thinking about eyeballs. Oh, and I forgot to do the leather there. Yep, that's right. We were on Black Indigo. Let's do that. But yeah, I game my brain all the time. It's all about gaming the brain. Speaking of gaming the brain, I'm doing well on my Noom. It's nice to feel in control of my diet again. I felt like I was stressing out and sliding out of control for a while there. And I actually ran into the problem of not eating enough the last couple days. Yeah, they're still working on it. Yep. Yeah, because it was something like the elemental scions. They would be so nice in a really tightly, like the earth one would be so nice in a much tighter molded plastic. I've got to say that, like, yeah, I'm not a fan of Bones Black, really, material, working on it. We've done models. We've painted Bones Black models, but that's, of the Reaper materials, I think Bones Black is my least favorite. Because I think traditional Bones is still great for big models. It looks really good in big models, but... I need my highlights. Okay, so we're going to build some highlights with our Black Indigo. Oh, no, we're tilted. We're not supposed to tilt. There. Okay, let's get this guy down. So we've got a 4-to-1 for base coating. I'm going to pop a couple of dry. That was way too much water. I'll end up regretting that. And I'm knocking over things too, apparently. It's how I roll. I don't like that mold lines are a real pain to clean off of it, HM Road Dog. I don't like that it, like, it's mostly mold lines, but, like, things are just a little soft. Like, I would like this to be crisper. This armor, this really cool armor on this one. I would paint this model if it was a little tighter. Like, if it was a little bit crisper of a cast, because there's so much cool detail on that Earth Scion. It's not like it would be bad to paint, and I could definitely paint it to a high standard, but it's like, it's just not as crisp. Like, I've got to say, I've gotten very spoiled on the Siocast and the Bones USA. That's really weird. The 3D prints are really good. Like, I just ordered a random one with my overladen henchwoman. Like, have these people actually tried them? Actually ordered one? Actually, you know? I find that people naysay because there's, like, other people that they watch or listen to that are, like, naysay, and then... But, I mean, I looked at that 3D print when I got it out of the packaging, and it was tight. It's as good as any 3D print I've gotten from Big Child. But yeah, so I just prefer a tighter detail. I don't like it when details go soft, especially on armor. Oh, it's like 5 people who just keep complaining over and over. Same people across. Well, then we need 5 people who are really good to complain against them. We need clackers. I was reading about clackers the other day because it was one of my writer mailing list people who brought them up, because it's like, it's the same as like paying people to like review your book nowadays. Because it's the clackers were the people who were paid to stand in an audience and clap and cheer they were the precursor to laugh tracks. Except that it all went south. It all went south because it was they realized the power they had to make and break careers, and then they started like essentially threatening artists who were doing well that they would tank their shows if they didn't pay them. More than seat fillers, because they would actually like influence the crowd, or try to. But yeah, it had the same level of effectiveness a lot of the time. And then when they started to like try to abuse it, then it quickly went out of style. But it's funny. No more new metal figures. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think the minute we started, the minute we embraced Siocast wholeheartedly, there's no reason to buy metal anymore. Especially with how the cost of it keeps going up. When the cost of tin continues to spike, it just gets totally unfeasible to do minis in metal at that point. So I'm just doing the leather straps over these little bottles in indigo. Black indigo, sorry. There's going to be grognards. I mean, The upside about metal minis is it was a lot more, like, it was more, arguably more sustainable for the planet, right? Because you could melt them down. You can recycle them. Whereas, although some of the plastics, not Cyocast, but the Bones plastic, I believe we could actually chunk up minis and reuse them, but don't quote me on that. But I think it's possible. Though we don't control that process, so it's like, yeah, that was the same era, Twisted Oma. The paid mourners at funerals, what they would do is, like, women would, like, go out to funerals and cry all day, paid to cry at funerals, and then they would go to the theater at night and cry on command during the sad parts, and they get paid for both. It was the same era and the same sort of thing. And the people doing it were often the same people. Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that people just want to, like, they think everything has to be the way they want it to be. So on the leather, I won't be able to do much of a highlight, and I'm going to have to really punch it up when I do. So I'm going to actually add more white to this mixture of highlight. Yep, well, except that we're getting to the point where you can't get metal, like, where lots of people are switching over. If you want, honestly, if I want weight on the mini at this point, I'll just glue a penny to the bottom. Or the bottom of the base or whatever, right? But and the problem with that, a small group seems bigger for another reason too. Because it's never a small group of, oh my gosh, this is great people. The one that sticks in our head is the small group of, oh my gosh, this is trash. I can't believe this is the catastrophe. Oh my God, right? That's what our brains pay attention to. So if you had a group of the same number of people all raving about the new 3D prints, it would still not have as much of a mental impact, and it would not stick in your brain as much, which makes it seem like, so it's not just algorithms. It's algorithms slightly because people will click on that stuff because we're attracted to it. And the reason we're attracted to it, yeah, I'm worried though, Inara. I'm worried that metal's going to totally go away because of the cost. Like, because I like metal too, but I'm worried about that. Yeah, that is a downside. We need to start doing multi-part probably in printed. Yeah, that's not always true though, bots. At least not with books. There's a lot of positive reviews on books. Yeah, it's a shame, Cornico. Yep, it's why bad news sells more papers than good news. And that's all because of our prehistoric brains, by the way. Because the prehistoric brain is going to give bad news more credence because bad news used to mean if we didn't pay attention to it, we get eaten. Like, alarmist stuff used to actually be what our life, like, depended on. Like, listening to it and responding to it. And our brain hasn't changed. Even though we are now in an evolved era, this evolved era has only existed for some people. I mean, it still doesn't exist for some people who live in danger regularly. But, for us, watching this stream, it's, it's been a while since we, evolution's too slow. Which is weird because evolution, some days you would like to stop going there, yep. Because evolution can move quick, but we're still attracted to it. Like, we're all attracted to it. And there's no, like, survival advantage anymore either way, right? At least not in first world countries. I don't know. It's weird. But once you learn that, the good thing about it is that once you learn that, once you become aware of it, you can work against it. Like, you can understand, like, these days, I just see a clickbait title and I get disgusted and I just don't click on it. Like, I know what they're trying to game, so if you're aware, you can make an effort to push back. Because it's not life and death. It's just somebody clickbaiting you. Oh, wow. That's bad, Agent Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, it would descend into anarchy without you, Quindy. It's true. I don't know. I pay a lot of attention to the actual, like, the meat of a negative or positive review. Like, when I go and look at a negative review, I'm very much factoring in whether this is just this person's personal preference. And I'm looking for specific phrases that would also make the book or product not be good for me, right? But if their complaint is one that I don't care about, then I'm going to discard that, you know? So, yeah, don't read the updates and keep asking the same questions. Oh, that's just human. I mean, texture paste can stick something to a base, but not effectively as glue butts. It's not going to be as strong because it's not meant to do that. So texture paste has stuff, you know, spread through it, and that's not necessarily making it stronger. And it's not really meant to, like, it's not an adhesive, right? It's a goop that dries solid and sticks to your base, but it's not a glue. So it's like you can use paint to glue things together, but it's never going to be as strong as real glue. Because it's not meant for that. It has things in it that work against that purpose. So I would glue it down and then I would use your texture paste. Otherwise, you might find your miniature breaks off the base much more easily. So we've got these little belts here. And it can be hard to figure out where the belts are. If I could give this 0 stars, I would. I mean, it doesn't take much time to glue something. But, I mean, if it's sunk into the base and you're going to be covering it over 100% butts and it's a small mini and it's not heavy, sure, you can do that. I mean, just be aware that it won't be as strong. So if it falls somewhere, it has less of a chance of resisting breaking. So we got those belts. Quindy. Funny. Yes, that's also something you can do, is to check that person's reviews across several areas, several products. Although, like I said, I pretty much ignore like stuff like that. Like when I'm looking for a product, it's like I just ordered felt, like adhesive felt for the bottom of bases online. And David is like, oh no, it's going to be too thick. It's always too thick. And I'm like, no, here's the clue. You go and you read the reviews, right? And you see the person complaining about the thickness of the felt. And this person complained that it was too thin. And then you know that that's the felt you want and you buy it. So their negative review actually accomplished the opposite thing they wanted. And sure enough, when the felt came, it was wonderful and thin. Oh, yeah. You'd have to take that off, butts. Yeah, if you're gluing to that irregular surface, that's not going to work. Like, I hope your texture paste is pretty strong, because that's fraught with peril. I might just pry up or scrape up the texture paste. Or you could green it and then stick it down, whatever. Yeah, you can go and look at somebody's reviews that they've left across platform. Yes. Thus you can learn who the trolls are. I think I need a little more. I made a very, very pale mix here for my top highlight of off-white, and so I want to thin that a little bit more so I can get it to come off my brush real thin. But yeah, I love looking at reviews for specifics. So if I'm like looking at something and I'm like, all right, I need this to be thick, or I need this to be thin, or I need this to have this quality, which isn't always a bonus, but which is a bonus to me, I will look at all the negative reviews to see if they complain about that, and then I know. Like, I was looking at a dog leash, and somebody was complaining because it was like a really tough would not break when it's pulled on, right? So, but then somebody in the reviews is complaining because their puppy chewed it up, and it's like, that's not what super tough dog leash means in this case. Did you not read the product description? But yeah, so I ignore those reviews. Oh yeah, yep, submitted photos are nice too. Yep, agree. Gonna put a single sharp highlight at the top of these to just bring out that a little bit more. There, now I've got those bands highlighted, and here also, and we're good. Yeah, Quantum, exactly. Oh, I love this product, but I'm giving it 1 star because it was delivered badly, right? Yeah, I'm with you. Some people's kids. It's very silly. Forgot the corks on these bottles. I'm just going to do them in the bone color. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can usually tell when the review is just like, it's not something you would even care about, right? Alrighty. While I've got all these highlights out, it's time for Birdie to get some work. Oh, wow, Kerniko. Yike. Yeah, that's just like... That is entitlement gone extreme. Haven't they heard that the influencers, I think, have numbered days anyway to some extent. They're having a hard time proving return on investment with influencers and product campaigns, depending on what it is. Although in like informal influencers, like people who are just like really influential because they try stuff and people like them and so they like that stuff, like they're still, I mean, those are always available, like those are always around, right? But the whole like I'm a professional influencer thing, I don't know. Apparently very few of them actually can move product. Using Quindy. But yeah, I found it very interesting that with all of the focus on like influencer, getting like book bloggers to blog about your book and all that, that it actually doesn't usually result in much of anything. Yeah, right. Exactly, right, Quindy? Lots of influencers out there. The world. The world is something else. So I darkened down Birdie's feathers a little bit with some... Right, yeah. Yeah, you gotta be conscious of the focus on the site you're on, right? Doing a little bit of highlighting up at the top of the wing to make it a little shinier. But yeah, the world is weird. That's all I'm saying. A little bit more on Birdie. Oh, Koniko, that's cute. I guess if it's a feral cat, then it can take care of itself no matter where he goes with it, huh? That little cat had a dream to see the world, and now it gets to. I'll have to look that up, although I don't need another distraction right now, but I feel like I need to look that up. But yeah, that little cat had a dream to travel the world, and she found somebody to take her around, huh? One bike, one world. Cool. I don't have my phone next to me because I had to charge it, or I would be looking that up as we speak. I will write it down, though. On a sticky note, like I write everything else down. Ah, okay. One bike, one world. Got it. Yeah, she would. Well, she was a kitten. She got used to his living style then, yeah, for sure. Actually, I find that targeted TikTok is okay. Like, I got on TikTok for the first time a couple weeks back because people are, book talk is a thing over there. And I like book talk's recommendation videos. Like, I found a couple of good recommendations kind of things on book talk. But the rest of TikTok, who knows? Book talk is its own thing. Oh, and there's a really good cooking one. A chef who does like recipe stuff. I would have to look him up. He did an amazing one on butter. So yeah, I think that small parts of it's just like any social media, right? Small parts of TikTok are really useful and cool and funny and awesome. And other parts of TikTok, like the majority of TikTok, is kind of just there. Kind of like the majority of YouTube or the majority of any other social media platform. That kitten must be wondering where this guy is actually getting home. Oh, that's funny. Is it YouTube? One Bike, One World is YouTube, I assume? Or is it a blog or a... What is it? All right, let's see here. Where am I? Okay, got belts, got little thingies, got Birdie. Birdie is more highlighted now and his feathers are showing up better. I need to do some feathers on this side. YouTube, okay. I gotta say YouTube is my favorite social media platform. Like it's the platform that I actually enjoy out of all the social media platforms. I kind of avoid the Book of Faces because I just don't. don't feel good with the Book of Faces. Although I will be doing the Book of Faces for my author stuff. I have an author page. And I've got a Twitter. Yeah, Surgeon's Law, yep. Alrighty, and now eyes. We've got 5 or 10 minutes to do eyes. Let's see here. I think I'm going to use my Cairn Stone for her eyes base color. She's looking good though. Don't you think, guys? I think she turned out really sharp, actually. She turned out a lot better than I thought she would. Oh, meeting time. Have fun, Crowley. Yeah, Quindy. I use it. I'm a seek and destroy kind of a surgical strike Facebook user. Like, I have to use it for the dog club every once in a while because that's where a lot of our members are. And so if I have to post an update about a breeder training program or something, then I have to go on there. But it's like go right to the group, type out my thing, put up a picture, leave. And then I have to remind myself to go back and check the freaking comments, which annoys me. I think I check my Facebook Messenger, likewise for dog people, like once a week or once every 2 weeks. Like, I'm terrible about it. I just don't like it. It's a red, technically this is a red, yellow, blue color scheme. Right? You guys see it? Because you've got even though the red is more violet and the blue is more indigo, it's got the gold. So we added in that. So we do actually have a red, yellow, blue. All right, so let's do the eyes real quick. Yeah, I mean, we were doing lots of really dark colors, right? And she still turned out really, really dark. I need to do her basing too. Maybe we'll do a bigger base for her. I don't know. Thinking about it. There's some tricks that David's been using that I want to try. Let me get a little bit. I'm mixing a little more white into my Cairnstone. Cairnstone's just not coming through for me quite as much as I want on those eyes. Especially with how... Yeah, my YouTube is very much like, it's either Overwatch or writing. Like, those are the two things I follow on YouTube. Whereas my Facebook is all dogs and dog people. Sadly, the problem is that since I've been working so long for the dog org, Facebook feels like work. Yeah, that's cool, Kariniko. That's a little brighter. Alrighty, so we've got those eyes. All right, bye, Agent Marvel. Thanks for hanging out with us. May the nap be good and long. A little bit more liner to make sure the top of the eyes are nice and dark. And now we'll put the pupils in. All right, that actually worked. Other side, it's gonna be harder. Hard angle. Coming up from the bottom, trying to center it. Nope, a little bit more. My paint dried out. Might need to put more water in my brush. We'll find out. That's good. I need a little bit more on the other side. And it's like so easy to lose your whites, and then you really need to get... I'm going to be getting a little bit more pure white. If you really lose your whites, you can pick it up, just pick up a tiny little bit of corner of the eye. No, that's a little bit too much. I'm going to scrub that off with my water. There. She's got eyes that are like half closed, and that makes them very difficult. The easy way to do it would be to have her looking off in a direction. Interwebs, I don't think we've had a spike. I haven't seen an F. I can jinx it now. We've got 3 minutes left. I think we're okay. Let's see, can we see? Okay, this one needs more. You can see the other, yeah, that actually is pretty good. That's actually pretty good. The other eye needs an adjustment. And I'm going to do a little tiny bit of lining on the underside of the other eye. And then we're good. These eyes are way too small to put a catch light in. All right. There we go. There we go. Better. Okay, whew, these eyes are so small, guys. Yeah, if you want to have an easier time of it, then like make her looking off to one side, where you only have to paint half of the eye dark and half the eye light. That's Welsh can't help you. Yeah. Oh, it's always hard. It's on stream or off stream, doesn't matter. There are nights that I mess with eyes for an hour. Like, hey Papa, what's up? What do you have? What do you have, Papa? What's up? Kiki, what's up? What do you have? Do you have a bully? She's like dropping something on the floor. Hopefully it's nothing she's not supposed to have. All right, people. There we go. We got basing on the fish. Basing on the fish. Basing on the fish tomorrow. And then I guess I should prep that mouseling. Because we might have to start the mouseling tomorrow. Hi there, Papa. Oh, she did a drive-by and then she walked away. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Breading on the fish. Well, it is going to be sand, so, you know, it is going to look kind of breading-like. Yes, thanks everybody. All right, so we'll be back to fishy tomorrow. And for those who came in late, the weird model we decided to do is Witch Hunter Mouseling, the fun size one. He's much larger. So yeah, we'll be doing that. So maybe we'll start on him tomorrow. All right, so there you go, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm not going to put tartar sauce on him. All right, happy Thursday, and may you all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, all right? May the interwebs stay untwitchy. Bye-bye.